All right. Good afternoon once again. You all welcome to CSC 201 lab sessions. Actually, this is our first lab session for CSC 201. It's designed for, of course, CASU students, 200 level. This is their first programming class, and Java was chosen to be the host language. Before I start anything, this assignment was sent to you, which we say study the Java program below and carefully examine the lines of the program. This you are supposed to read it. It's theoretical. Even though we're going to design something like this for a beginner, somebody who just started learning, Java programming language. So we're going to display the hello world, and then we're going to see part of this maybe, and some parts. These are your assignment, but I'm going to solve some of them, and also assignment 2 that talks about this. This is what I mean by problem solving. We want you to solve a problem here, okay? And I think we'll talk about something radius of cycle matters or something. But all that we are going to be doing is going to be centered around console Java app. Since you just started learning Java, it is never due. It is console. So without wasting much of our time, let us start the IDE we are going to be using here. As we know, we have a lot of IDEs. We've chosen Eclipse to be the IDE we are going to be using here. And I think let me create a workspace for your class. But before then, let's understand this. You know, when I click to start the program, this workspace, okay, let me zoom it for all of you, or everyone to see. I hope it's visible now, right? When you click to start your program, your Eclipse IDE, this comes up, and it tells you that you select a workspace. Workspace is the location of your project residing in the file system in your hard drive. Where is the folder for your project residing? In Eclipse, it's named it as what? Workspace. So anything will be stored here. But inside the Eclipse, we call it project. But on the hard drive, it is called what? The workspace. So let us create a new workspace. This is a workspace for a different place. So I want to create the workspace here on D drive, and then I create a folder, and I will name it CSC 201. CSC 201 2020/2021 session. You know, slash may not really be allowed here. That's why I use comma. So now this is a folder on D drive. So this is my workspace with regards to Eclipse. That means all programs I'm going to be writing here, all projects will be centered around this workspace. Then you click on OK. You see it has changed to what? The workspace. Is it? Please respond to question when you are asked, so we understand whether you are understanding or not. It has changed to the workspace we created. Is it? Yes, with the session. So then you click on OK. Now Eclipse, you know, we have different versions of Eclipse. I gave you assignment to check on the different versions of Eclipse. Versions of Eclipse are given in form of what do you call it? Planet, right? This one is Mars. We have the Lunar. We have many versions. Okay. So then for the first time, if you are having your workspace for the first time, this is the environment where Eclipse will take you to. So what you do is you click on this workbench. If you click, it opens to the Eclipse IDE full window. Okay, I have to reduce the window for the projector, but I hope it's visible, right? So please, let's familiarize ourselves. That's why I wrote this. Let's familiarize ourselves with Eclipse first of all, because it is our tool here. So the first thing you do, look at the screen. Please, can you see something here? We call it perspective. Let me open the window so you see. Okay, the projector will not really allow. I think it has been zoomed over the size of the. But then if you click on this, you see we have different perspectives. Can you see Java EE here? Here, this is Java. This perspective is for Java EE. Our own perspective, it should be Java SE. But Eclipse does not write Java SE. They write only Java. Java EE is for enterprise applications, which is going to be web. Okay, but Java SE is the edition for standalone system, network-based offline. Okay, and all that. Are we there? So if you click on this perspective, it gives you many perspectives here. Please come to Java. You won't see Java SE, rather Java. So you click this and click on OK. This is the perspective we are going to be using. Can you see it has changed to something? Is it? So this is our perspective. Now, as you can see, the menu bar, we have file, edit, and the rest. And then we have some toolbars here. And then we have our Project Explorer. Please, in case if Project Explorer is not displayed, just come to Window and come to Show View. Can you see all of them here? Project Explorer. Can you see? Console. We have the Ant. Ant is a building environment. In Java, we have 3 building environments. We have the Ant, we have the Maven, and we have the Gradle. Okay? Ant, Maven, Gradle. This actually is for advanced developers. You know, we're going to be using dependencies. If you want to use a Java file, you don't have to deploy it yourself. You don't have to download it yourself. The Ant will do that for you, or the Maven, or the Gradle. That's going to be maybe when you have started doing a production development. And then this is the console. Anything you don't see in the window, you come here, you see it, and you click, it displays there. I think this is the little tour to Eclipse we can give you. And then we have the console here. Can you see? Okay, console is not out. So let us display console. You come to Show, then you click on console. Then console, can you see console here? So we said we're going to be developing console app. All our answers to our program after execution is going to be displayed here. So now, the first thing you need to do is whenever you want to create, you see, as we are here, we are into a perspective. We're into a workspace. The workspace is the one we mentioned. It is what? We name it CSC 201 2021 session, right? Then if you click on file, you want to change perspective. Can you see switch perspective? If I want to switch, I click on, maybe I want to see perspective for CCL classes. If I click on this, it changes perspective, but you have to give it time. It will refresh. And then it takes you to a different perspective. Sorry, not perspective. I've been mentioning, it takes you to a different workspace. So you see, of course, you should be grouping can you see this workspace is even having a different theme, which is different from what we have. Okay? So now let's go back to our workspace. You see switch workspace? This is our workspace. When you are into a given workspace, you won't see it here because you're already in it. But if you switch now, it takes you to a different workspace. So this is all about workspace. Question? You said?
I think you want 2 workspaces.
You want?
2 workspaces.
You can work on 2 workspaces at the same time, unless if you open different processes of Eclipse. You can have, as you can see here, I have this Eclipse. Then I have another version of Eclipse, which is not masked. So I can open it, and then I can be interacting with another workspace there while I'm in another workspace. You need to work with only one workspace as far as Eclipse is concerned. So now we are into the workspace. Now let's quickly start. If you want to change the theme of your window, your workspace, your Eclipse, what you do, I think this is the last thing I will do on Eclipse. If you want to change it, you come to Window, you come to Preference, and then you come to General. If you click on General, you see Appearance. So at the Appearance, can you see Theme here? So this is where you click to change the view of the theme of your. If you need dark, you click and you apply. It gives you dark. Which one is more preferred? I think this, right? It tends to be more visible. So now let's use this theme. Now the first thing we do, we want to write Java Hello World application. We just want to display Hello World. Okay. So now File, and then we come to, for you to do that, you have to create project. Whenever you want to write an application, a program in Java, the first thing you do is to create what? A project. You click on File and click on what? Java project. Please make sure that you are in the perspective, the appropriate perspective. Otherwise, you not have it easy, actually. So you click on Java project. After clicking on Java project, then you give it a name. This is now a project name. So let us say Hello App, for example. So are you sure this is okay? The perspective, the theme. Are you seeing what is there? All right. Huh? You say?
The white theme.
The white theme is, you prefer the white theme?
Yes.
Okay. It's like others are not okay with this. Let's change the white to the white theme. You come to Preference, and then it's already there, the Appearance. Then you click and you select maybe Classic. Okay. I think this is more visible, right? But for production, the dark theme, sometimes it is preferred. So now back to the creation of we haven't created, I cancel it, Java project. Then we type in the name of the project. So these are information regarding the GRE. GRE, this is the Java run environment. That's what enables your program to run. So the default version is always the latest version. That's what Eclipse does. So the latest version you have, Eclipse picks it. This is 1.8. That's the latest version I have in the system. Okay. But then if Java, sometimes it tells you if you develop an application with lower version like 1.6 version, if you want to work on it in a different system, you have to turn your JRE. You have to change it to that version for it to enable you. So unless if you are working on a native application you have developed before this version, then you change. Otherwise, you leave it as it is and then you click on Finish. So after clicking on Finish, this is what you see. Okay, then this is a project. The next thing is you create a class in the project. You can create packages, you can create whatever. Let's go by the default package so we don't waste much time here. So you right click and then you go to New. Let me go to File. Okay, File. Okay, you can go to File. You can right click as the window is going that way down, so I moved there. So now you come to what? Class. So we want to create class. You give the class something. Let's say message, for example, and then it's asking you a question. It's going to be public. You can change the access modifier here. Can you see modifiers? And then here it tells you it asks you whether you need a main method. Of course, we need a main method. If you do not check it, you have to write it yourself. Then for constructor, we talk about constructor later. Then you finish. Now this is the class. All right. Let me increase the font size for this. Come to Preference. Come to Appearance, color and what? Then you come to Java. Then you come to the editor for the, yes, if you double click this, it gives you kind of something like this that you can change. So you see it has changed the what? The font size has been increased. I think it is visible to everyone now, right? So we talked about this in class. This is class. Public class message. This is the modifier, access modifier, right? The state. This is the class keyword and this is the name of the class. This is where the class starts. If you double click here, it gives you the block of the class. This is the block of the class. And then, so we can now say end of the what? End of the what? End of the class. And here end of the main what? Main method. Okay? So we don't need this comment. It's telling you that you should write your stuff. So this is our first program. So let us just write hello to Java. So let's say hello. Sorry. If you want to do that, you write system.out.println. If you want to abbreviate system.out.println, you can type sysout and press a code guessing, keys, which is control and spacebar. Control spacebar. Yes, control spacebar. Can you see system.out.println written? Then you write what you want. Hello, 200 level CASU student. Sorry, CASU students. So this is what I have written. Anything written in the code, that's how it's going to be printed. So then I run. When I run, please can you see what displays? Okay, student was not spelled correctly, right? Students. Can you see what I said the other time? Anything you write, it's going to be printed whether or not it is spelled correctly. In as much as it is within the code, so you have to be careful. You need to be careful. And then when I do this and then I run, whenever you carry out a correction, make sure that you save the state of your work. Save it, then you run. So please look at what we have done here. Hello 200 level CASU student. This is what we wanted displayed on the what? On the screen. Thank you. But then this is a novice program. Why should you just collect something like this and then you just send it? You didn't collect anything from user. You just wrote something within the source code, and then it gets printed. You did nothing. I'm sorry, you've done something as a beginner, right? You done something, is it not? But in reality, you did nothing. So let's change our thinking to something different. Let us be collecting things from where? From user. Okay, we collect from user and then we make use of it. And we have stated that whenever you want to collect, input from user, you have to employ the services of a scanner class. Since we are running Java console app. So now I think from our subtopics here, we talk about getting started with this, and then we're done. Now let's talk about data types, right? And then we talk about variables, all right? And then we talk about scanner class. Before we talk about scanner class, I think it would be good for us to do a kind of review on the data type. I'm timing myself. I want us to stop exactly by 12. So let me quickly do this. So from our book here, you were given an exercise here to do a kind of a problem, to solve a problem here that says Write a Java program that prompts the user to enter name, gender, and greeting message. The program should detect the supplied data and display output as follows. 1. If gender is male, then program should display good morning, Mr. If it is female, good morning, Mrs. And then things like that. If no gender is specified, neither male nor female, it should display what? Invalid. Let me quickly talk about data type here, even though it has been discussed in the theory class. You see, this is what we have done here. Hello world. But if you want to be collecting input from user, you cannot write program without variables. You must use variables. If really you want to be collecting input from user, then you have to use variables. So please go through this. We've already discussed all this in class. We've discussed it, and from our source code here, we said that. Sorry, let me reduce this to maybe 18. It's like it is too big. Let me reduce it to 18 or 16. Let's say 18. Okay. So we have already stated that when a Java program starts running from, it starts execution from where? From the main method. You don't have to instruct Java to run main method. Main method is automatically run by JVM. Okay? So that's why your program gets run. So for the variables, we have discussed variables, and we said that we have two kind of variables, two categories, which are data types. I mean, I'm not talking about, not variables. The data types, we discussed them, and we said we have two categories of data types, which are the referenced and non-referenced. That is the primitive and non-primitive. Okay? Primitives and non-primitives. So let us work with the data types, and then maybe we'll combine it with yes, the data types themselves. Yeah, let's work with them. The zoom in is too big, right? Okay, this is what we have discussed, right? During the theory class. We have the int, the short, the long, the byte, the float, the double, and character, then the boolean. These are the data types. And then the non-primitive ones, we told you that they are classes, they are class variables, they are variables created from class. So we can't say this is the number, depending on what you're doing. So what I want us to do is let me just cite an example with this. Maybe you do for the rest. We said int is 32-bit, right? So let us solve this with our program. Let us write a program that prints out the range of values for int for us, for integer. Can we do that? Range of values for integer. So let me create. Please be careful. Let me create another class. Another class. This class, we call it print integer range of values. Okay, we need main. Then we go this way. Is it okay? Yes, this is the class name. Okay, so we have to introduce variables, of course. Here, let's say int value range. Int value range. So let me just define it as I've just created. What kind of variable is this, please? To our today's class? Local variable. Who said string? Did you see string here? So how do we do this? We have to use math class. You know, I introduced you to math class, right? So I want to raise 2 to the power of 31, which is 32-bit, is it not? Is it? So then I'll have to use what we call math class, math dot power. Before we do that, let us ascertain what we're doing really. Let me say 2 to the power of 3. Okay. Okay, power is in form of double, and it is giving us a problem. So this is a very good thing. Please, let's understand. This math dot this power, it is a double. The type is double, and I want to store it in what? In int. And that's what we call. You know, they are not same, is it not? Int cannot hold double, can it? But double can hold int. If int hold double, then there will be truncation, is it not? Is it? So, but then there's something we call typecasting. Since I know what I'm doing, so I can typecast. Since this is double, then let me typecast. Typecasting means you bring in here, then you come in here and you give it a type. Can you see I've done a typecasting? It is double. Originally, the value is double. This side, it is double. Okay? It is double. But then I want it to be converted to int such that I can hold it in int. Since I know my conversion, the power I'm going to work with is not going to give me double. Actually, you need to be very careful with this kind of conversions in Java. Otherwise, you have issues. Then let me print out this. Sys out. Okay, and I want to print this value range. Then if I run, can you see the result here? What is it? 8. Okay, let me zoom for those who cannot see. Can you see 8? Okay, if you double click, it goes to its normal something position. Please, are we understanding what we are doing? These are things you need to practice. So I just tested. I just want to know 2 to the power of 3 is 8. So now, but when we want to raise 2 to the power of what? 31. Then let's run. Please, only one person should sit on a chair. No 2 people should sit on a chair. Why are they falling? Can you see what we have calculated? How many billion? 2 billion. So the range of values of int is 2 billion, negative 2 billion, positive 2 billion plus. So the calculation you did in class, somebody uses his calculator and he punched his calculator, he gave us a wrong answer. That's why I wanted to clarify here. Please, are we getting it? So you see, we can do mathematical notation, mathematical operations, and all this and that. So now I think let us use scanner class to solve some of the problems. What are the problems we solved in class? Area of cycle. Or do you want us to do this greeting something to solve the problem? Huh? Time. You would want to do that. Have you done all? Okay, you want me to solve the most difficult one for you. So test for the rest data types. So you can see the range of values. Now let's go to the assignment and do something. I want us to learn how we collect data from user and process it, make use of it. Let's try to solve this problem, this very small one. Okay? So what we need is to collect gender, and then we do what? This video shouldn't be too lengthy. Let me stop this video and then we start another one.